guys, welcome back to the Mid-Level Media channel, and I am here today to showcase my entire month of May Blu-ray and 4K pickups. So for the entire month of May, I'm going to go over every single piece of physical media that I picked up. And I have showcased a lot of these on my weekly physical media report, which you can check out every Monday at 3 o'clock on this channel. But I thought it would be fun to kind of bring them all together and just talk about them all as a whole, because I grabbed quite a bit for the month of May, way more than I usually do. I went a little crazy this month. This month was kind of a big month for releases, so I've got a lot to showcase off today. And when I showed them off on the physical media report, I hadn't watched a lot of them, so I can go into a little bit more in depth, just my thoughts on the package and presentation as a whole for each disc, and also just my thoughts on the movie in general. So before I get into that though, guys, I want to ask that you please, if you are not yet a subscriber of the Mid-Level Media channel, go ahead and click that subscribe button and go ahead and turn on the bell notifications so you can be notified when each new video on my channel uploads. And also, guys, please, it would mean the world to me if you just click that little thumbs up button right there. Just click it. Just take a couple seconds. Just click it real quick. Every like will help this video, help this channel grow and continue to gain a following, so I can continue these videos and continue this channel. So I really greatly appreciate every single like would help. And also, guys, please just comment down below anything that you picked up in the month of May. I would love to hear about it. I would love to talk about it with you. So leave your 4K Blu-ray pickups down below if you grabbed anything. So with that, guys, we're going to go ahead and get right into it. And the first thing that I grabbed, and this was the first kind of big release in the month of May, is the Mask of Zorro on 4K. So that is a beautiful slipcover right there. And I got to admit, I really like the movie. I love the movie. It's a movie from my childhood. But I almost grabbed this just solely based on this cover alone. It's amazing. And then I got a chance to rewatch it for the first time in 15 years, I think. And I love the movie. I'm so glad to have it in my collection now. It's a fantastic movie from, I believe it came out in 1998. But, you know, Anthony Hopkins, Antonio Banderas. Just a fun kind of swashbuckling adventure film. Just with a lot of great characters. And yeah, if you have not seen The Mask of Zorro, I think it's on Netflix right now. So you can watch it for free. You don't have to buy the 4K. But I still highly recommend this 4K. Great special features, great presentation overall. And yeah, let's go ahead and look at underneath of it. I'll show you that off. But yeah, different cover right there. But just a fantastic release that I'm really happy to have in my collection. So next up, guys, is The Lodge. I bought The Lodge. And I believe that came out the same day as The Mask of Zorro. But yeah, I was really excited for this horror movie. Unfortunately, it kind of let me down. I didn't love it like I wanted to. But I have a full review of this movie on one of my Haunting and Mid-Level episodes. I believe it was episode 4 that I did a review on this. So you can go back and check that out if you want to see my full thoughts on it. But yeah, I didn't love this movie like I was hoping. So a little bit of a disappointment, but I'm still happy to have it in my collection though. All right, guys, next up, and this is kind of a random pickup at Walmart. And this is a few of these right here are going to be random pickups, just nothing new or exclusive about them. But I found this in a Walmart bin. This is one of these Mill Creek VHS covers for Excess Baggage. And this is a movie that's starring Benicio del Toro and Alicia Silverstone, a very young Benicio del Toro. But yeah, I've never seen this movie, but you know, it's a 90s kind of I guess kind of a rom-com classic, maybe. I'm not sure what kind of a movie this is. I've never seen it, but I love these VHS covers, and I found it at a Walmart bin for $5, so I went ahead and grabbed it because it's rare that you can find an actual slipcover in those bins, so I was kind of excited when I saw it. But I'm hoping to get that a watch eventually. I don't know how quickly I'll get to it, though. But the next movie, guys, is a movie that I did watch, and I watched it for my 1997 series on Mid-Level Movie Reviews, and that is David Lynch's Lost Highway. So this is a release by Kino Lorber, and this release actually got quite a bit of criticism from the Blu-ray community and fans of this film because it's not a great transfer, and it's not a transfer that David Lynch himself approved. So this transfer gets a lot of backlash. As far as the movie, it's a weird movie, man, and this is the first David Lynch movie I've ever seen. I've never watched a David Lynch movie, so I should have known what I was expecting. But yeah, this is a weird movie. Bill Pullman, Patricia Arquette. I liked it, but it's super. Yeah, it's just really weird. It's something that you have to experience. I can't even explain it, but. Yeah, that's Lost Highway from Kino Lorber. And I think that release actually came out last year. I think it came out last summer, if I believe it or not. So it's fairly new. This next one, guys, is a Scream Factory, and this is Sleepaway Camp. So the classic campy horror slasher from the 80s, kind of following in the footsteps of Friday the 13th a little bit. But this one's interesting in the sense that it is a slasher, but you don't see the villain. You don't see the actual killer until the very end. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now, this is one of the most weird, shocking, just freaking nuts endings that I've ever seen in any horror movie before. And if you've seen this movie, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But there is just an image at the end of this movie that is so batshit freaking crazy and just weird and disgusting and just like, what the hell am I watching? But yeah, it has to be seen to believe. And this actually went on sale online for like $13, and I thought that was a sale. But right after I bought it, this showed up in Walmart for $10. Like I was walking in Walmart and saw it for $10. I was like, damn it, if I'd just waited like 3 days, I would have got this for $3 less. But yeah, for $13, I just jumped on that deal on Amazon to get a Scream Factory of Sleepaway Camp. Unfortunately, it didn't come with the slipcover, but I didn't expect it to because a lot of these older catalog titles from Scream Factory, they don't really keep the slipcovers on those. So I don't know if they kind of go out of manufacturing or whatever, but that's Sleepaway Camp, so I got that at Walmart. The next one, guys, is a film by David Lowery, and it was billed as Robert Redford's last film, The Old Man and the Gun. And I have not seen this movie yet. I'm excited to watch it because I've heard good things. But this wasn't actually Robert Redford's last film. Avengers Endgame is now because he showed up in that movie again. Yeah, this has Casey Affleck in it, Sissy Spacek. I've heard really good things about this movie. I'm excited to check it out at some point. But this was only $10 on Amazon, so I went ahead and jumped on it. Next up, guys, is another, and you're going to see a theme within the stacks, but I've got a lot of Tony Scott films. This is another Tony Scott classic. I love this movie, Enemy of the State, with Will Smith and Gene Hackman. This is a phenomenal movie, and it's one of those movies that I don't have Amazon Prime right now, so when I order something and the total doesn't add up to $25, I look for something cheap to add on to it, and this is kind of my add-on to one of the movies I grabbed for $20 just to kind of make it $25, and this was $5 on there. So I didn't own Enemy of the State yet. I really want to rewatch this at some point because I remember loving this movie as a kid. So Enemy of the State, guys, if you have not seen that movie, definitely check it out. All right, guys, and we're going to get back into some new releases. I grabbed Birds of Prey this month, the 4K of that, and this is just a really cool cover. I love this cover, just the way it kind of sparkles and glistens, and yeah, I think it perfectly aligns with the theme of the movie and just the style of it in general. So, yeah, I love this cover, and the movie was good. I liked the movie. I'm not going to bash on it or hate on it. I don't think it was like the best thing in the world, but if I'm being honest, it's probably in my top 10 of the year, and I know I've only seen maybe 30 movies this year, but yeah, I mean, a lot of people like to hate on this movie. I really enjoyed it. The title's weird and way too long, and that's why it failed at the box office probably, but I enjoyed the movie. So Birds of Prey, I definitely recommend it. It looks great on 4K. All right, guys. So next up, and this was a 4K that came out last year, I believe, and it was a random pickup because it was cheap on Amazon. But this is Scarface, the 4K, and believe it or not, I have never seen Scarface. So this is another kind of classic gangster movie that I really need to watch and experience because, and I think I've mentioned it before on this channel, but I'm not a huge fan. Or it's not that I'm not a huge fan, but I just haven't seen a lot of gangster films, and it's not really a style that appeals to me. Like, I like Goodfellas. I don't love Goodfellas. I like Godfather. I don't love Godfather. So I'm interested in checking out Scarface to kind of see what where my opinion lies on that one. So I'll definitely be checking that out soon. So I'm happy to have this in my collection, and this cover's really amazing. So Scarface on 4K. And the next one up, guys, is a Martin Scorsese classic. I have Taxi Driver. And I actually got this on Amazon for $15. It was actually the cheapest I could find it on there. And somebody messaged me on Instagram and told me that Hamilton Books was actually selling it for $6. So I definitely need to start checking out that Hamilton Books site. I haven't really got into that before. I've browsed it before, but haven't ordered anything from them. So I will at some point. But yeah, Taxi Driver, absolute classic. It is a freaking fantastic film. It's my personal favorite Martin Scorsese film. I just love the performance of Robert De Niro and just the darkness of this movie. You could tell, like, this movie is super ahead of its time. There's so many movies nowadays, like Drive, like that movie Joaquin Phoenix was in, You Were Never Really Here. Even The Joker, that like takes stuff from this movie, and you can tell they're just like drawing directly from this movie as far as like the tone and style. And yeah, this is the OG right here. This is Martin Scorsese at his best, in my opinion, as Taxi Driver. So this next one, guys, is these next couple are kind of random pickups I saw at Walmart. Both really cheap, but I got the Secret of NIMH, which is a 1982 animated film. And I remember I did some kind of 1982 showcase on my Instagram feed, and somebody commented, and they're like, "Why didn't you include Secret of NIMH?" Well, I've never seen it, so I found this at Walmart coincidentally, like the next day for $5. So I went ahead and grabbed it, and I'm like, well, that's something I can maybe watch with my kids at some point and actually experience, because I've heard phenomenal things about the film. So I'm definitely excited to check that one out. The next one up, guys, is another two films that I haven't seen coming in a double pack from Scream Factory, and that's Bill and Ted Bogus Journey and Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. So yeah, believe it or not, I have never seen the Bill and Ted films. So I'm excited to check both of these out. I'll probably watch them when it gets closer to the third one's release, is when I'll time it and kind of put my thoughts on it then. But for right now, I'm happy to have both Bill and Ted movies in the collection, and hopefully I'll watch them and love them and be excited for the third one coming out. So that does it for kind of like my older titles. Everything I'm going to cover now is more newer stuff that's come out that I picked up recently. And the first one I'm going to talk about is this Idle Hands Scream Factory. And, you know, I was never like a huge fan of Idle Hands. I saw it once back in the early 2000s. I thought it was okay, you know, a little schlocky, a little goofy. But I went back and, you know, watched the Scream Factory edition to review on my channel, which I have a review up now if you want to go back and check that out. But yeah, it is a really goofy movie, but it's a horror comedy, and I kind of know how to take those kind of horror comedy, Evil Dead style movies now. And this is like really leans into the comedy a lot, but it's also super gory and violent, and there's a lot of kills in it as well. So it kind of rides that line between like super gory and violent, and also comedic at the same time. But it's an interesting movie. I definitely, if you're a fan of like horror comedies, this is probably one of the better ones in my opinion. So yeah, I would definitely check it out. And this cover, like, it's another one I bought almost solely for the cover. This cover is fantastic, and it has the original VHS artwork on the inside, as Scream Factory usually does. But yeah, and it's got some really good special features, some interesting interviews and stuff with the cast and crew and the director. So yeah, I definitely recommend the Idle Hands Scream Factory, especially if you're a fan of horror comedies. So the next one up, guys, and we're gonna get into some Tom Cruise here, because I got the War of the Worlds 4K. And I did an unboxing and review of this on my channel, which you can go back and check out. So I'm not going to get too much into my thoughts on this, but I do recommend picking this up. It's an excellent transfer. And the movie is probably one of the better disaster films ever made. And yeah, it's a really well done movie by Steven Spielberg. So I recommend picking that one up for sure. But check out my review. Go ahead and go back on my channel and check that out. Next one up, guys, is another one I got a review for on the channel, and that is Top Gun, starring Tom Cruise. I really love this movie. Don't think I had seen it in its entirety before I watched it in 4K. But yeah, I was a big fan of this one. I loved it. It's got that real 80s kind of cheesy style to it, but it's also just a really good movie. It's a really well shot movie, really cinematic, kind of big budget blockbuster with that 80s feel. And yeah, it just combines a bunch of things together, and everything I love about the 80s and 80s movies. And yeah, I really love the movie. But yeah, go back and check out my review if you want to see my full thoughts on it. And it looks spectacular in 4K, so I very much recommend the 4K version of that film. Next one up, guys, is another 4K, and that is the Blues Brothers on 4K. Now, to be honest, I thought this movie was okay. This is another one I had never seen before. I'd actually seen the Blues Brothers 2000 before I watched this movie. So I think this is okay. It's not, to me, I guess because I don't have the nostalgia glasses on, it doesn't resonate with me as well as I think it does some people. So I didn't love it. I thought it was good. So for that reason, like, the transfer also isn't great, the 4K transfer. So for that reason, like, this isn't one I can recommend. I'm happy to have it, just to have this classic, John Landis movie from the 80s in my collection, but at the same time, like, it's not something I can recommend to people to pick up. It's not that great. So don't recommend the Blues Brothers. So let's get into it. And as I've told you on this channel, I still need to get reviews out for these, but I'm collecting these Paramount Presents classics. I've kind of made a stand, and I'm gonna collect every single Paramount Presents movie that comes out, no matter what it is. So because of that, I now have Flashdance in my collection, and this is the fourth one in the Paramount Presents line. So yeah, I've never seen Flashdance, so I'm definitely interested in checking that out. I haven't watched it yet, but when I do, I'm going to get a review up on my channel, so be looking out for that. Then this next one is another Tom Cruise film. This is Days of Thunder. Now, I have checked this out, and I do plan to have a review and unboxing showcase of this movie on my channel soon. I might actually start working on that review today when I get off of here. But yeah, I'll save my thoughts for the movie when I do the review. But yeah, so I'm not really going to say anything about it here. But I do love those Paramount Presents lines releases for sure. So we're getting down to my last three, guys. And this next one is one of the best movies of the year, in my opinion. It's The Invisible Man in 4K. And it looks freaking phenomenal in 4K. And this is a really good movie. A really good horror thriller, sci-fi kind of movie, directed by Leigh Whannell, who also did the movie Upgrade, which is phenomenal as well. So yeah, I definitely recommend, if you pick this up, pick it up in 4K, because the movie's really dark, has a really dark aesthetic to it, and that looks spectacular in 4K. So if you pick up The Invisible Man, definitely grab it in 4K. It's also got some really great special features in it as well. So yeah, I mean, I have a review for this movie up on my channel. I reviewed it back when we could still go to the theaters back in February. So look for it on my channel. I can maybe link it down below. I also did an unboxing, a giveaway, which I'm going to be announcing the winner of soon on my channel this past weekend. And yeah, I mean, it's a great movie. I don't think it's like some people said this is like a modern masterpiece. I wouldn't go that far. I had some issues with it. This is a really great horror thriller that I absolutely recommend checking out. So, The Invisible Man. And next up, guys, is a movie I ain't seen in forever. And it's actually a sequel, and it's Escape from L.A., the Scream Factory of that. So I am going to be watching this soon and reviewing it on the channel. So be looking out for that, but I haven't yet watched it. I just grabbed it. I think it came in this past Sunday, so I haven't got a chance to watch it yet. But really looking forward to revisiting it. I remember liking this one and New York about the same when I was a kid, but I know a lot of people say that this is a big step down from the first one. So yeah, I'm interested to see my thoughts, and I might rewatch the first one as well and rewatch this and maybe do a compare video on the two. I don't know, maybe, possibly. Let me know if you would like something like that in the comments below. The last one, guys, is I got the Shout Factory of Deer Hunter. And I believe this is one of the first, if not the first, kind of straight 4K that Shout Factory has released. So I went ahead and jumped on that, and I've never seen the film. It's Academy Award. It's a Best Picture film. Meryl Streep, Robert De Niro. So yeah, I'm excited to check this out and review it at some point, but I have not yet. This is a 3-hour movie, so I'm going to be getting into that at some point for sure. And you know what, guys? I lied. I actually have one more that I forgot about. It was kind of sitting over there off to the side, but I bought The Great Escape, the Criterion for that. And this is also another really long movie, a 3-hour movie that I've watched half of, but I haven't gotten all the way through it. But yeah, it's an excellent transfer so far. It looks great for a 1960s film. You know, an absolute classic from 1963, starring Steve McQueen. So yeah, from what I watched, it's really good. This is another one I haven't seen all the way through. So I'm looking to finish this and maybe possibly getting a review up on my channel as well. But yeah, The Great Escape. I love this cover too. It's an awesome cover. That's one of the main reasons why I bought it. So yeah, in total, guys, I grabbed 20 titles this month. So this is a big haul for me. This is a big month. I went a little nuts, like I said, but and part of the reason why I did is because I'm kind of expecting things to slow down in the month of June, so I'm not going to grab as much. So I knew I could kind of load up a little bit more in the month of May, kind of stock up, and that's kind of what most of my upcoming reviews are going to be, of like May release titles and stuff like that I'm going to get out to you on this channel. But with that being said, guys, I'm going to go ahead and right now I'm going to give you my top 5 of the just cover wise, presentation wise, just the way it looks of the month. So my number 5 is the Birds of Prey cover. I love this cover, so a good number 5, I think. My number 4 is Idle Hands. Love this cover as well. My number 3 is Deer Hunter. So I really love the cover on this. It's a phenomenal cover. Number 2 is The Great Escape. Great cover. And my number 1, and this cover I love. It's one of my favorite in my collection right now, The Mask of Zorro. So that's my top 5 covers, presentations that I picked up this month. So I hope you all enjoyed the video, guys. I'm going to go ahead and close the video out. But before I do, I've got some things I need to promote. So for those of you all that don't know, I do a twice weekly live show on the @UltraHGeek channel, which I'm going to link down below. We go live Mondays and Wednesdays nights, and we discuss a variety of news topics, and we usually do movie reviews on Monday nights, and we do 4K Blu-ray reviews on Wednesday nights, but we cover the news and any kind of breaking topics all throughout the show and stuff like that. And this show is a very kind of fan-oriented, engagement-driven show, which means that you are in the chat, you're interacting with us, we're reading your comments, we're reading, and we're kind of making you a part of the show, and that's our mission with the Levels of Geek show. So I would love for you guys, if you watch me, if you're a fan of my videos here on the Mid-Level Media channel, come on over every Monday and Wednesday night on the @UltraHGeek channel at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and join us for we usually go about 60 to 70 minutes, just our 60 to 70 minute live stream. And we also transition that live stream into a audio form in the form of a podcast on Apple Podcasts and Stitcher. So if you cannot make it for the live show, you can listen to us later on those platforms. We usually get that uploaded within a day or two. But also, guys, we have also started a Levels of Geek website, which I'm going to go ahead and show off here, and I'm going to link that down below as well. And what's cool about the Levels of Geek website is a lot of my content that is right here on this YouTube channel, you can find on that site. And also my Instagram content, my reviews and stuff like that are going to start going up on there. So it's really kind of a pulling together of @UltraHGeek stuff, my stuff, combining into that website. So I would love for you guys to check out that website and show your support. But other than that, guys, you can follow me on Instagram @Midlevel Movie Reviews, where I do my movie reviews, Blu-ray shots, and just talk about cinema in general. I'm really kind of, in light of everything that's going on in the world right now, I'm really doing a deep dive and a showcase of black cinema. So I'm kind of going back and I'm filling in some gaps. I watched Boys in the Hood yesterday. I'm going to watch Friday today. So I watched the 13th documentary on Netflix. So I'm really kind of going back and filling in some gaps so I can share these black stories by black directors on my Instagram feed. But I think that's a really important message to get out there. So so you can follow me on Mid-Level Movie Reviews. You can follow me on Mid-Level Media, where I do my Blu-ray 4K announcements. You can watch my weekly show Mondays at 3 o'clock, where I cover everything new coming out this week, all the news announcements for what's coming out later in the year, and just all that good stuff on my weekly Mid-Level Physical Media Report. So with that, guys, I'm going to go ahead and close out this video. I really appreciate you guys watching. Go ahead and go ahead and comment down below anything you might have picked up. Subscribe to my channel, and we'll see you next time.